For the Amazing Art Expo today. Again, we're doing another Harry Potter piece, and there's wires hanging everywhere. We're doing Hagrid today. Sorry, I moved the wire out of the way. It's so hard to get all this stuff situated. Okay, stream's a little chunky for the moment, but it'll catch up. It always does. Um, let's check to make sure it's actually live. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. I've got the chat open, so feel free to chat away. And we're doing a nice, fun Hagrid today. I get the feeling I probably won't need just like his. The hardest part of any portrait is, of course, the face itself and getting the likeness and stuff. Hagrid's mostly hair. All you see is his nose and his eyes. So I'm missing. He has no jawline. He has no mouth. He has no. It's all hair. So he's got a suit and he's got hair. So as you can see, my fun little underpainting here. Here's his little face poking out, and here's hair. I left it real kind of scratchy and loose because that's kind of what Hagrid looks like. So let us begin. Yeah, I might just start carving out. His face is pretty much just sort of haloed by this dark shadow of hair. And I'll have to there's a lot of just brown hair in this piece, so I'm going to have to get creative with some of these colors. I don't have black on my palette just because I like to make my own black with, like just fun dark values with purples and reds and greens and browns and all kinds of stuff here. Okay, there's the side of his temporal bone there. I'm really just going to carve out where his face is here. And I do a lot of squinting. Anyone who's ever studied art ever heard of the squint? That's when you literally squint your eyes at your subject. It helps block out a lot of the details and simplify everything into big shapes. So if you're watching at the very beginning of this video, you get to see the painting when it doesn't look like very much. Some people they tune in the very first few minutes and go, oh, this is dumb. What is this? It's nothing. Like, well, give me a few hours and it'll look like Hagrid. I promise. Did Harry Potter yesterday. It came out really good. Doing Luna Lovegood tomorrow. So this is very different than the time-lapse videos when you watch someone do a full day's worth of painting in 30 seconds. So this is very, very different from that. Okay, his lips, I can mark those off right now, actually. They're about halfway down here. It's pretty much on the halfway marker there. All right. I'll try to go thick on the paint here today. I typically like really transparent paint. Maybe that's what I can spend my time doing today. And there's definitely going to be some more green. Yeah, I should try to do some more interesting colors today. Here's the side of his cheek wrapping around. He's got a big pile of malar fat there. Good landmark. There's the center line. So those are the two planes of his nose. One 2. See, there's his face, sort of just outlined by the dark shapes of hair, which there's lots of variations and stuff in those. Even his lips are like a little red smudge. Can feather that out just a little bit. Okay, it looks like there's a separation. Where is that? Here, between his beard and his hair on his head. In general, his face is that rosy kind of Santa Claus red action going on there. He's got a nice big temporal pile there. Okay. Alright, let's carve in the rest of this face then. I suppose I can hit up a little bit more just to mark them out. I can't see, I have no landmarks. I can't see his ears. I've got a little grid here just to help me place everything. That's really, his face is actually really small. Here's an eyebrow. Here's a whole plane. It's a little too red. There's the side plane of his nose. Yeah, that's actually really red. It's alright, I can tone it down later. He's just very jolly, well, we can consider him. Huge pile of Sue fat there. Hagrid's a big dude. He's got a lot of fat in his face. And there's a plane change there. Some cast shadow of his hair. I'm actually going to lower this another notch. That's fine. Cast shadow from his hair. Yeah, we can see some really great tendons on his eyes there. That'll be a nice bit. Comes right, there's that orbit. Yeah, I think what's going to make this is the texture of my paint, actually. Little pre-tarsal fat. A little more red there, I think. A little more orange. Lighter. It's too dark. And we got a little bit of this plane underneath that malar fat there. This whole side is very red and dark. And there's most of Hagrid's face mapped in there. Sort of the dark plane behind his nasal wing there. He's got one weird wrinkle right there. I'll get that later. Looking very much to the right, or my right, his left. Hi there, Amy, thanks. He's got a, oh, let's see. Let's map those out. His head, okay, his head is tilted a little to the left, which is going to push those eyes at a little different angle there. And that's actually going to be, he's got very small little eyes wrapped around these big fatty orbits. And just for reference, let's can mark in maybe a little where his hair is going to be. Big old pile of hair. Hi there, Sarah. Yeah, sure. Thanks for watching. Naomi, let's see. Um, oh, nice. After going to a few shows of yours, I decided to get my degree in art therapy to combine my love of art and psychology. Oh, that's so cool. You're one of my favorite modern day painters. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, it's my life's work, so I'm glad it's working out well. Yeah, glad you like my work. Thank you. That's very exciting to know that I've inspired you to take a cool, career in art in some way. Art psychology, I like that. Art is very therapeutic, both, I guess, for the creator and for the viewer, right? So, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, and since Nick is not here yet, I should paste this. This is the link to buy. We have prints of this piece that I'm doing this weekend. All 3 Harry Potter pieces I'm doing. You can pre-order them as a print before I'm even finished. And as soon as I'm done, we have the high-res image and stuff. We'll send you the print. But everything on the site is 40% off. So that's a huge sale we're doing just this weekend during the stream. So check out that. And you can get a cool copy of Hagrid. Or Harry Potter that I did yesterday. Or Luna Lovegood that I'm doing tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, this painting is going to be a little more sighting just because I don't have any other reference. I don't have any other landmarks. Yeah, that's his lip. Before I start piling the paint on there, I just want to start making sure things are placed in the right spot. Mind is blown since I bought your pieces in Denver and met you briefly there. Let's see, you have a studio here in the San Francisco Bay Area. No, the studio in San Francisco, it's the Christopher Clark Art Gallery. It is not my gallery. I think they just called it that because it might have been a cool sounding name. I really don't know, but that was not my gallery. I have nothing to do with that gallery. It's they mainly deal with 1800s era artwork, and then a couple contemporary people, but no, it's mainly older work. I love the era of work they're working with, but it's not mine. So I get that a lot, actually. Um, I think they just called it that. I knew a guy in Newport Beach who had a sort of design firm called the Christopher Tracy Interiors. I'm like, who's Christopher Tracy? He's like, I don't know. It's just a cool name. It was just a brand name. So I think that's what's happened with the Christopher Clark Gallery as well. I think they just called it that as a name. Just happens to be my name, so kind of funny. Um, yeah, and then Luna, yeah, she's tomorrow. That'll be a fun one. Okay, I've got my darks piled in there. Let's really get in here and look at this face. He's a jolly old guy. He's probably pretty old. Did I ever say how old he is? I mean, I'm sure you can look up. I'm sure there's the Harry Potter lore. They know exactly how old he is, but he was at school when Voldemort was at school, and that was what, in the 50s, um, or something. So he's got to be like in his 80s, 90s, or something. Like, Jesus, he's old. I'm the first Christopher Clark you met. Oh, good. Nice. All right, let's do some of these lighter planes here. Let's try to use a lot of paint. He's got, this is a very, very warm painting. That's not exactly that light. Those are more of a highlight quality. I probably should do this painting with the Zorn palette. It's got that quality to it. This would be like a very old style, Renaissance-y looking painting or something. Let's see, let's follow that light. This is the main light on his face. And sorry if the camera's a little delayed with, it's sometimes when I first start streaming, it takes a while to sort of even out. It'll catch up. Okay, here's when it turns that corner. And this is a very thin bit of plane between his eyebrow and the turn there. That's a little more orange. A little lighter and a little more yellow here. I'm really just like setting the paint on here today. I can use this for this plane of his nose. That looks like that's a crease, and then that's his nasal bone, and then that's some cartilage there, and then really red nose. It will be anyway. There's this middle plane. Probably a little lighter, a little more pink. No, that was better. It's a little more yellow in it. Little tiny bit of that plane change there. Okay, nice. Really red halftone there. He's got this great zigzag. Let's find that red. This would have been a fun painting to do with the Zorn palette, just as an experiment. This is a very Zorn sort of. I've never heard of him. He's a Swedish painter from the late 1800s, Anders Zorn. He would do whole, seemingly full color scale paintings with just 4 colors, usually white, black, yellow ochre, and then some kind of red, either vermilion or alizarin crimson or cad red or whatever. And usually they had a very warm quality to them, like this piece here. So yeah, that would have been fun. But I like, rather than using black, I like mixing my own darks with my varying dark transparent colors that I've got. Here's some dark for that cast shadow of his hair. Nice transitional color there. Yeah, we'll try to do a lot of thick paint for Hagrid, since he's a thick paint kind of guy. A little bit of this red here, and it starts getting a little more sort of green. Got some more cast shadows from his hair, eyebrows. We'll mix in a little bit of medium for some of this stuff. Thicken it up a little bit. Can't make that too dark because it's not. Gets a little more red. He's got pretty bushy eyebrows. I just want to make sure I put them in the right place. I always used to ask my first teacher, Vadim, a guy named Vadim Zanginian, I would say, like, how do you know how much paint to put down? And he always says, well, that depends on how sure you are. I'm like, that's a really good answer. You had to wonder, since your paintings are phenomenal, has any of the Star Wars you're painting ever reached out to you? Any of the stars you're painting? Nope. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the only person in the world painting celebrities. Sure, maybe I do paint them well, but there's got to be plenty of other people out there attracting the attention of the stars, so to speak. Okay, so that's such a great landmark. That's the inside corner of his orbit there. And this kind of rolls in to his eye. That's a little too dark. Right there, attaching to that canthal ligament there. All right, let's get this sort of red, green. All right, now I've ruined my red. Okay, that's where that connects up there. All right, super red. You notice I do a lot of pop culture pieces, Harry Potter, right? You have to do a Kylo Ren piece. I actually did a Kylo Ren. Um, I don't know who Brahm is. I guess I'll have to look him up. I did a Kylo Ren piece. It's one of my first Star Wars pieces. Um, I admit it wasn't super original. It was just I hadn't seen that. It was just before Episode 7 came out, and I hadn't seen it yet. It was just a screenshot from the trailer of Kylo Ren with his sword in the forest or whatever. Um, so Lucasfilm ended up not publishing it, and I just haven't done another one yet. I'm going to raise his eyebrows just a little bit. And here's where that... Yeah, his eyebrows are up a little higher. Whew. It's very taxing on the brain to think about all this stuff. All right, keep trying to go more and more paint. All right, that little, you can see a crease coming down, sort of surrounding that fat pad there. Yeah, this suborbital fat is just like this long stretch of everything right there. That really blurs the line between his lower eyelid and his sclera, which is pretty red actually. Maybe because he was crying. He was a joyous Hagrid. Let's do a little darker on that crease here. That's too dark. Just trying to use a lot of paint. It's a little much for this crease. Alright, now I can do a little bit of this light plane right there. And it becomes very red very quickly. A little bit of green right here. Here's some transitional sort of stuff where his beard connects. It's a little nice fuzzy. Okay, I could bring this up. That tendon is real easy to see. Could go a little lighter, a little more orange right here. More orange, yellow. There, a little bit. This crease. A little tiny bit of highlight on that. This red comes up a little further. Ooh, big old chunk of paint. Chunk of dried paint on there. A little darker where that eyebrow meets. And maybe where that crease is. Maybe one of these days my cameras will all catch up and they'll all be in the same place. Jessica, oh, you got Hagrid's hut. Oh, nice. Very cool. Let's move over to this eye a little bit now. A little lighter for this bit of the nose right there. And I'll push it over a little bit. Bit of highlight there as it catches a little bit of this plane just to meet it there. Push this highlight over a little more. And it is much lighter. I'm going to need another light. I do have another lighter brush. Good. I need a third color there, whatever. I don't know how many colors that is. Boy, talking and paintings. It's even harder than walking and chewing gum. Okay, we're going to see this. You can see that canthal tendon all the way in there. It's kind of a dark reddish, greenish something. And we see a thick sort of layer of that skin covering his eyeball. So it sort of wraps around there. Yeah, that's the side of his orbit. Bring that eyeball down just a little bit. And his actual eye sclera, which I haven't done yet. Maybe a touch more green. we can see a whole lot of his conjunctivus. That's a fun one. A little bit of that. Hooray for Hagrid! Right? He's a fun guy. That crease goes a little lower, I think. Put a little bit of the sclera on this side. I will not do the highlight yet because I really want to make sure everything's placed nicely before I do that. You can see that tendon go all the way over. And I could push this up because he is squinching his eyes a little bit. Couple of wrinkles coming out of there. And that just follows. There's the orbit. It's super easy to see that one. Again, I could probably raise his eyebrows a little bit more. Sometimes I do the expression on my own face. It's actually really helpful. This is a little bit lighter of a dark. Yeah, a little more red. It's a little too yellow. Here's a nice red bit there. And those eyebrows definitely do get a little darker. Through there. What state are you in? We're in Denver. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Shar. Appreciate it. Yeah, Patreon. Yeah, thanks so much. Yes, for as Shar so nicely pointed out, for as little as $1 a month, you can support our gallery on Patreon. And for one, you get access to all these streams afterward. Otherwise, they're not available online. And then you get like cool discounts on a lot of our stuff. And there's cool rewards as you get higher up, you know, for higher amounts. But even for $1, you can say, hey, I'm supporting these guys because these streams are really hard to do. And we have no way of traveling and doing shows right now. So we just have me at home painting. And, you know, the other guys in the gallery are just working. We're all working remotely and best that we can. So yeah, appreciate that. Joanne's in the Chicago area. Awesome. We went near Chicago for a show. We should have gone in the city, but we went outside the city, which I wish we would have gone closer. Oh, and there we go. Since this is what I was promising, I every time we get a new patron, I said I would blow the horn of Gondor. Well, I don't have a horn of Gondor. I have this rubber medical tubing that I used to cut out. I made some painting tools with it. So since Shar is our newest patron, I'm going to blow. This is what I have. It's really cheesy, but it sounds pretty good. It's going to be off timing with my camera. I'm watching it, but that's okay. You'll hear it before you see it. The Horn of Gondor! So, thank you, Shar, for becoming our newest gallery patron. I hope that was just especially nerdy and ridiculous for you, since that's what we're all about here. None of us are ashamed to be nerds at, well, now the Amazing Art Expo, previously Incredible Art Gallery. Same, everybody, just sort of changing a couple things up, but yeah. So yeah, there's the Horn of Gondor for you. Yay! Well, good. Glad you enjoyed that one, and appreciate the shout out, and of course appreciate supporting the gallery on our Patreons. That's super, very helpful. Helps us keep doing these streams and just keep our gallery going, so we can offer you guys all the coolest nerd art. Okay, this goes out a little further. That's the edge of his orbit, and then here's a big hunk of fat right there, where he's smiling. All right there, Harry. You'd like an original HP nerd? Well, we're all HP nerds here, so welcome to the club. Sure. We always have originals. The 3 that I'm doing this weekend are actually already sold. If you want to, one cool thing we offer to our patrons is we have on our Patreon, at a certain level, you get first rights of refusals for originals. So basically, we offer them to you first before we sell them or list them with anybody else, that we have a list. So that is one cool way to do it. Or you can do a commission where you could have us do a specific piece. I'm very picky about commissions, but if you're interested, definitely just message anyone at the gallery from where you are, and we can talk to you about it. Let's see that tendon go right into that orbit. That's such a great landmark. Whew. You love your Master Yoda. Oh, cool. The Child. I have, actually. I did. It's called An Unlikely Friend. It is The Mandalorian. Well, it's mainly, the Child, or Baby Yoda, as even people in the industry call him. And you can see Mandalorian's hand, and he's giving him the little ball from on top of the little control stick. He's handing it to him. So yes, I do have that one. So check out the site. Those should be 40% off as well. So definitely check that out. And we'll get you an unlikely friend. Yeah, this painting is really just a lot of smushing of paint. Yeah, sure. Check out our Patreon. There's been links going by if you haven't seen those yet. Um, oops. Here's the link again if you want it. Okay, I can sort of smush in a little bit of this beard now. It's got some red in it, faux show. Much darker red though. Big old hunk of dried paint. And actually this does come up right up to his nostril wing there. Jesus. Is it even possible to grow hair up that high? Or is that just a result of the costume? Because damn. Damn, Hagrid. I didn't know humans could grow hair that high on their the upper lip there. That's a nice shadow underneath there. We'll just sort of scratch in a little bit of that. It's a little darker right there. How are we doing here? Geez, it's only been an hour and I'm almost done with his face. This is going to go so fast. I've been doing a lot of facial anatomy studying lately, actually in the middle of an intensive course on that very subject. And it has been tremendously helpful. For someone who paints portraits a lot and has done many, many of them, you know, a lot of these celebrities and stuff that I've done, I'm learning so much. Yeah, really, really helpful. I always tell that to anyone who's looking to be an artist of any kind. Like, study, study, study forever. You'll never like stop learning. You'll always discover something that you've never seen before. A way that someone does something. Even gets a little lighter just for a second right here. It is a little green in there. Let's do that with this brush. It's right next to the eye. That tendon. It's a little lighter still. We'll make it a little more blue. I totally could have done this with the Zorn palette. And if I had thought about it more, I would have done it. That would have been fun. And then he's got a nice little dark crease right along that tendon there too. Alright, that's too dark. Make that a little lighter, a little more blue. I need, this whole painting can't be orange. I need some variation on the color. A bit of nice juicy red in here. A little bit darker in some of those eyebrow sort of bits. They're a little separated on him, you can see them. Hagrid. Hagrid is the heart of Hogwarts. Um, Richard Harris as Dumbledore. Yeah, I probably should. I did Michael Gambon Dumbledore. I really should do a Richard Harris one because he is brilliant. I really would have loved to have seen what he could have done with the whole Dumbledore character over the years. We'll never know because he passed away. But I think he could have owned it. It would have been a very different tone, you know. But God, Richard Harris was a genius, you know. That would have been really fun to see what he could have done with that. Like we didn't really get to see the character mature, you know. Um, I mean, even when Chris Columbus was directing the movies, it was definitely more of a kids movie. Because that's what, and I think that's the tone he's good at. We didn't really get to see it get serious, and the stakes get real, you know. And so it's kind of a bummer that we didn't get to see that. I would have been a big fan of Richard Harris Dumbledore throughout the whole series. Michael Gambon was great. Very different tone though. There's nothing you can do when the actor passes away. I've read that even after the end of Chamber of Secrets, that he was very very ill and just he knew he wasn't going to make it. Um, Not enough for the whole series. Even I think he had a conversation with was it Alfonso Cuarón who started doing Prisoner of Azkaban, but there was a conversation with Richard Harris, and he says, and I quote, "If you cast me again for Dumbledore, I'll fucking kill you." And he was saying this from his hospital bed. So I think he knew it was like his time was done. So of course he was joking, but is still brilliant to be to come from that quality of an actor to have an interaction like that. Nice shiny cheek. Yeah, when they cast him as Dumbledore, I'm like, oh my god, he's perfect. He was perfect. I think in general the casting they did was just so brilliant. I mean, I had of course read the books like anyone before I had seen the movies, and when I'm reading the books, I don't hear the lines in my head the way that those actors delivered them. They blew me away. There's no way I would have ever delivered the lines the way that they did. The way that Alan Rickman, or Maggie Smith, or even I don't know his name, the guy who played Ollivander. Like even that guy was just awesome. Small minor characters. It was just the way he talked to Harry in the store and told him about where his wand came from and stuff, and like it was so good. It was so subtle and unexpected, So I think every actor they got for all those parts was just fabulous. And I love that they did take time and effort to do even the minor characters really, really well. I currently have a friend who's reading the books for the first time right now, and I'm trying so hard to not spoil the ending, so we don't talk about Harry Potter too much. I've heard Jim Dale do a couple of the audiobooks. Yeah, I haven't listened to all of them on audiobook. I've read all of them, but I did listen to I think 4 and 5 on audiobook at one point when I was driving a lot and was stuck in my car. Okay. And of course, incidentally, if you guys like my video streams and you like hanging out and watching me paint, please follow me on whatever video channel you're watching, so you can watch more of these. I stream at least once a week, doing all kinds of cool stuff from pop culture to traditional fine art. I did a cool tiger wildlife piece on Thursday, so I do everything. But yeah, if you like my work, please follow me. Follow the video stream here on whatever service you're watching, and you'll see more cool painting. In a world of digital painting, I like to feel like I'm keeping the more traditional approach alive. And most people, they'll watch the time-lapse video later, but it's like, if you want to see what it looks like to actually have a painting come to life, and of course, there's the benefits of like asking questions, and then it's kind of a cool hangout. Ooh, let's iron out this one here now. I'm just sort of picking my way through. It's like I always consider it like a sculpture. You're just like slowly chiseling your way through. And the form, the character slowly appears. Now we can do a nice dark for his eyeball. And underneath that skin fold is a nice shadow. He has very heavy roof fat skin fold action. That could be a little higher and a little more of this nice dark red. Here. We can totally see the inside of that eyelid. That inside plane there. And around the edge of his eyes, it's almost a touch of gray. Just like the Grateful Dead song. And they say a touch of gray kind of suits me anyway. Just to soften that transition. Not bad for an hour so far. Doctor Who, I have actually never seen any of the Doctor Who series. It's just one of the shows that I'm sure is great, just never had a single chance to sit and watch it. I also kind of feel like I'm behind by decades of Doctor Who. I don't even know where to start. So I have unfortunately not done any Doctor Who, I'm sad to say. Though, yes, you're right. I'm sure I could do some cool stuff with those characters as well. I can see it. It's about to take a quick break, but I can see a place that needs to be ironed out. There's that orbit. Yeah, that's better. And then this red probably blends in with some hair that's there. This little smile, his nasolabial fold comes out a little further. which means I can see just a touch of that inside corner there. And that turns into hair. This will be a fun piece when I'm done. The quote for Hagrid will be, "Mad and Harry wouldn't be talking about me now, would you?" So that's going to be the quote on the bottom of this one, just for fun. It's always fun choosing a quote that goes well. All right, now this gets a little green. And here, as a transitional plane, let's get some substance to that paint there. Yeah, there's a couple cast shadows on his face. Oh yeah, that hair here is getting a little bit of light coming off his temple. There we go. I gotta say, older men with beards are super fun to paint. Because, you know, an older person in general has so many more landmarks to work with. Young people, younger models that you're, a subject, there's no landmarks. All the fat is all smooth. All the muscles and the tendons are all taut and crisp. And there's nothing to work with. I can do maybe a little bit more green on this side. That'd be kind of fun. But when people get older, as a model, they're so much more interesting to paint. Yeah, I could do a little green over here. Lost a little of my dark. Alright, I need to stop and stand up for a second. And let's take a picture of this. Another benefit of being our patron on our Patreon page is you get to see all of these progress photos that I take. I take photos of the whole painting process, and you can see this. So it's actually like a nice straight on view. It's kind of cool to see them for like study purposes or whatever. Okay, take a quick stand up and stretch. It's been about an hour. One of these days my cameras will all be in sync. Oh, they're close. The face cam is now the only one that's behind. Yep, it's just like about 3 seconds behind. Oh. Here's Harry Potter that I did yesterday. So I did this one live yesterday here, which we also have available on the website, so you can see some up close. There's his scar and some cool texture. So yeah, this is what an original oil painting looks like. There's also like brushwork and texture and stuff. It's a little hard to focus with this camera, but different quality for sure. You see the robe and the hand. So yeah, and really cool textury stuff, So anyway, did that one yesterday. And this one will say, right here, it'll say, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good." So that'll be fun. So Harry Potter, Hagrid today. And here's one I did Thursday. I did this to celebrate um, Global Tiger Day. It's a day just to remember that tigers are still critically endangered, um, and do whatever you can to support them and their environment and habitat and climate change and all that stuff. That's super critical. So this is a Siberian tiger. From what I heard, he might actually be the last Siberian tiger in existence. So, kind of cool to commemorate him in a cool painting. So yeah, support people who support wildlife and climate change, fighting climate change and deforestation and that kind of stuff. So that's what I did that one on Thursday. So that's a fun piece. Ooh. Yeah, honestly, this piece could just be an endless amount of noodling. You can see little things here and there. That's just major orbital fat just squeezing out of there. A little higher even on some of those eyebrow areas. I could raise this up even a little more. And then I'm missing a little bit of dark in there. I can do a touch of a highlight on the inside of this little crease right here. Those little tiny idiosyncrasies really give a portrait their full likeness, And I can smooth out a couple of these things here on his forehead. It's actually great. I look over at the video feed, and it's really helpful to see what it looks like because it shows me some things that I might not have noticed on my version here. I can make this fat a little lower. And there's a little bit of a highlight there. That's a little too much. It's alright, I can soften that up a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I like where that's going. Why don't I do a couple highlights on his eyes? And that'll really sink that in. I'll do kind of a yellow. Just like the sclera of the white part of the eye is never white. Don't just grab white paint and paint it. That's just really amateur. Neither is the highlight. This always really just makes the eyes sing, And we might have a couple on the sclera itself. Maybe not as bright. Maybe in a little more green. A little lighter. He's got some bright shiny eyes. And what I could do is darken up this part of his sclera a little bit, and that actually push his eye over a tiny bit. Push that cornea over. On the bottom even too. Alright, and that edge really needs to be softened. I shouldn't have told you that. That'd be a good quote too. I shouldn't have told you that. That's the only reason anything ever happened in the first book. I should have told you that. This plane comes down just a little more. That's the front of his alar cartilage, a little lower. Yeah. He's just got so much hair, it almost doesn't matter. A tiny little bit at the bottom of that cartilage. And then we see. Check out your site. Lots to buy. Good call. It's a good one. Let's do some lips. You really only see this two planes. And then we see a little bit of the lighter vermilion on the bottom. Lighter. It's weird seeing pictures of Robbie Coltrane not as Hagrid, because he's like, he has no beard, and he's, you know, like, wow, you look so much different. We do see a little bit of his vermilion border on the top. And then there's a couple opportunities for some nice red. Any chance you get to hit some strong cad red, you should go for it. It's a little higher there because he's smiling almost. You might see a touch plain at the bottom. You got a big canvas coming to your collection soon. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Jarvis. Appreciate it. Which piece did you get? Just curious. I'm going to need another black. I'm going to start moving into his beard. And his beard definitely folds over his top lip a bit. Betcha he does the Big Lebowski whenever he drinks something, licking off the top of his lip. And we see a little bit of that. Yeah, a little bit of his philtrum. Alright, I need another dark. Let's use a shittier brush for this. This is going to be really smushy. mixtures of paint here. Here's where I can get fun with some color too. Greens and purples and all kinds of fun stuff. Oops. I have to make sure that hair doesn't wrap over the cheek plane there. Ooh. You got Hogwarts Castle. Awesome. I'm assuming Welcome to Hogwarts specifically. That's a good piece. Let's see if I can carve out where these are. Okay, let's do purple on this side and we'll do red on that side. That will be, yeah, greens and purples over here. And more reds on the other side. That will be better. A cool motif. It's not Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. He's got a lot of this sort of greenish beard coming up right up to his lip there and covering most of it. Okay, get a little darker for that bottom plane of his upper lip there. Be a little more specific. There we go. There's a smile. Give us a grin. There you are. And that's covered a lot with the old beard. But I want that to be a little darker here. I want to see the smile. And yeah, we're gonna see that he's smiling, not only in his eyes and his face, but in his what we can see of his mouth too. And his upper lip kind of goes up a little, kind of funny. Let's make sure that cartilage wraps nicely. Doesn't appear to in the reference that I'm using, but that's fine. I want to make it work. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of this shape of his front of his nose that could come out a little more. And maybe a touch of red right there to soften that shape. That's good. Maybe a little lower down here. Just this plane change. And this, no, that's pretty good. You know what it is this needs to come in. The underplane of that nostril wing. We tried to sell prints at any LeakyCon events. We haven't gone to any LeakyCon events yet. We actually, we'll be doing more Comic-Cons. We have a crew that goes out to the Comic-Con circuit, or we were just really getting that started before coronavirus hit. So I'm sure we'll try that one out. There was going to be one in Denver that we were going to go to just to check it out, but we were going to go look at it and just see how it was before we signed up to do a booth there, because apparently it's very expensive. So yeah, we definitely want to do cons again, because we are just starting to sort of get our groove down, and then we had to stop everything. All right, now that I'm seeing this, I could push this nose up just a tiny bit. And there's that plane for the nasal cartilage there. I could bring this up a little higher. This is why you take breaks and stop and look at it from another angle. You start to notice things. Yeah, his face is a little more smushed. Even here, I have this a little too long. You really don't see much of his mouth at all. Oof. Hour and a half, not too bad for really half of a face. We don't really see his mouth, we don't see his chin or his neckline or his ears. So he really only has half a face. Okay, let me take a quick 5-minute break and fill my water bottle up. And I'll come back and I will work on his hair and his beard, and then he's got like his suit with his big old coat on. Thank you, Jarvis. Appreciate it. Here's linked by Prince. And here's a link if you'd like to subscribe to our Patreon to support the gallery. And so we can keep doing these cool live streams for you. So give me like just a few minutes. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle and stretch around, move around a little bit, and come right back. I'll be right back. Okay, gotta stay hydrated. All right, now it's time for some bigger brushes. Oh, Hagrid, you're so jolly. One of these days, my face cam will catch up. Let me unplug it and replug it in. Sometimes that helps. I think it's this one. Yep. Gonna reboot it. Blink. Haha. We are in sync. Not the band, but me. Ooh. I guess I'm here, but I'm still breaking because I'm just thinking. Because sometimes you just need to think. Okay. I wanted to put almost a little bit of glow in his hair. I didn't want it to look too glowy. That's not really what this painting was about. Didn't really know what to do with the background either. This particular moment of Hagrid we see from the movie, I'm fairly confident it is from Chamber of Secrets at the very end when he comes back from Azkaban and he's in the Great Hall and everyone's starting to applaud him and he looks up at Dumbledore. I think that's what this moment is, if anyone wants to know specifically. You know what I could do here too? I'm seeing this tendon is not pushed up far enough right here. That's a straight shot all the way across. A solid insert. Yeah, those are some really nice canthal tendons. Very lovely to work with. That one goes up a little higher too. And knowing your anatomy really, really helps this stuff. I think that goes up even higher. Shoot. Yeah, let's push this up a little higher even. That is supposed to be sort of my red. That way they're symmetrical. There's the inner plane of that eyelid. And a little divot. I mean, these things just could go on and on. You notice some anatomy somewhere, like, oh, there's a little divot I forgot. That looks like the plane behind that fat pad up to his nose. Malar fat pad doesn't usually go that far, but his goes really high, I feel like. Jesus. Ooh, maybe a little bit of reflected light on this side of his nose even. just a tiny bit. I should say. I'm back. And I can even indicate this tendon a little bit more. It's appearing as a wrinkle, but it's definitely there. And his smile wrinkles go up a little bit. I have them going down. Yeah, they're scooping up. And here's one here. Subtle, but they're definitely there. And then this dark red plane right here. I've never seen a tendon insertion that clear before. Jeez. Thanks, Hagrid. And it even curves around. It's a little more red, maybe. All right, let's bring that crease. It's just a little wrinkle. It's not this chasm. All right, let's do some hair now. Some big old piles of hair. Let me clear myself some space to mix some of these darker colors here. I will still use some of that red. What was I going to do? More reds over here and greens and blues over there. So we can start with some purple. I don't want this to be too colorful in a weird way that doesn't reflect what I've got going on in the face. And I do want some thicker, more presence in the paint over here. Here's about where that is. I'm just gonna maybe block in this suit. There's a wrinkle right there. It's all darker there. Meets that fold. There's the fold of his coat. Beard. There's a fold there. It gets more, well, I should use a different brush, but that's okay. Just blocking this in. Beard, hair, kind of all the same there. Okay. Incidentally, if anybody is an artist out there watching and they are interested in studying painting with me personally, I do actually have I have 12 painting videos, painting instructional videos where I teach oil painting, or you can use acrylics if that's what you use. But those are also available on our Patreon. Um, so that is one of the perks of joining our Patreon is you have unlimited access to all of my painting videos. So if that's something you've always wanted to do, to study painting, and you like my painting, I do have courses where I teach you how to paint and teach you a lot of the concepts that I use in my painting. So if that's something that sounds fun, then there you go. Another reason to subscribe to our Patreon. And another cool members only perk, you know. Alright, that's all going to be dark in there. I will fill this in with a lot more paint later. Well, I love the fun color choices I'm doing here. This is why I tend to not use black paint, because I like to mix my own black with, I don't even call it black, it's just there's dark value paints. You don't have to reach for black just because there's dark values. I have all kinds of reds, greens, kind of browns, purples. And that kind of subtle nuance really adds a lot to your work. I'm really trying to take my time here so I don't rush through the whole thing and be done in like an hour. We always advertise that these go from 1 to 6, but I can't help it if it comes together quickly and it just works. Here's this other collar. Okay. Oh, the face cam is lagging again. Kind of funny. There's always one camera that acts up. I don't know if it's my OBS software or my laptop that's not powerful enough to broadcast 3 videos at once or what. My internet's great. I've got gigabit internet at my house. Just because of these streams is why I got it. Hopefully this thick paint won't make this painting too hard to photograph. Definitely found that can happen. Alright, now here we're going to get a little lighter. Kind of this lighter brownish red this side. Alright, there's another layer there. Hair is always such a great way to, a great means of painting some great expressive brush strokes. mostly like messy matted hair. It's actually, I could paint it better by just letting the brush do the work, and it would look far more lifelike than if I were to just spend there and spend years painting every single hair. So his hair is a little straighter, and his beard is definitely more tangly and tighter, curly. How many years of experience? Well, I'm 42. Well, I will be 42 next month. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. So I have 42 years of experience. I've literally been doing art my whole life, as long as I can remember. Even as a little kid, crayons. That's, I wanted to be an artist. And I've been actively considering myself an artist my entire life. So, if that answers your question. But, I didn't spend all that time really studying art. I did a lot of other things. I'm also a musician. I play guitar. And I've had any number of careers and stuff, and that had nothing to do with art. So it's not like I've been actively studying and practicing. It was a dream of mine. It was something that I was doing, but didn't really get to realize it until like 7 or 8 years ago, full time. I started doing it almost 10 years ago is when I started. Well, that's not true. I was going to say when I started no, I'm going to paint for a living. I started painting actively in my studio. It's probably more like 15 years ago. How did I cheat aging? Drink a lot of water. I don't know. No, it's not a joke. I was born in 1978. '70s baby, early '80s child. I can definitely say when I started painting full time, rather than just part time while working a full time job, um, when I started actually being able to pursue it every day of my life, wake up, go to bed, whatever I did, painting, studying art, I improved a lot faster than when I was just inching along, you know, studying it when I could and painting when I could and working way too much at a desk job. So doing it full time helped tremendously. Yes, there's a lot of brush rolling and smushing, and it's kind of fun. Let's do a little more green here. That's about where the hair stops. Yeah, real shaggy. There's his coat. And then this side is a little more on the purple. Not too much. Again, I need to make it consistent with the whole painting, but it's a little more purple. get a smaller brush here in a little bit and do some of these finer details. All right, he's got a little bit of almost a part in the middle, right there, sort of. A little darker right by the forehead. All right, let's do, so we're doing purple over here. I gotta find those. Yeah, I need more paint. Ah, shit, I picked up a bunch of red. That is not what I wanted. It's okay. We're doing more purple over here anyway. More red, green on this side. And we're going to get more green as we get over. Where's that fold? It's right there. More green. Over here. All right, now here. Little touch of red. Little touch of blue. Bluish red. Comes right out the corner of his mouth there. And we're going to start to get a little more green as we come around the side. This is all pretty dark. This is where I love, like, I consider myself sort of in the impressionist realm of painting because I love implying detail with a few clever brushstrokes rather than painting every detail and spelling it out for you. I think this is so much more effective. So if you stand back, it looks real, but if you get up close, it's a total mess. That's a fun game, I think. See a little bit of the underplane of his lip even through the beard. Whew. Soften that edge there a little bit. All right, now this is going to need some smaller brush work here to polish that up. Yeah, he's pretty matted hair. I think I don't know how dark I want to make behind him, the background. Not as dark. I think my reference is pretty dark, but I think I want to keep it a little lighter to bring him forward more. Oh, you know, now I see a quick little adjustment on his face. This tendon comes a little too far. It's far, but it's not that far. And it rolls down a little bit. And I can see this curls up, this suborbital fat pad there. That's a little better. Sometimes those little tiny things just jump out at you 20 minutes later. Ooh. It is only 3:15-ish. Supposed to go for 3 more hours. I don't know if that's going to happen. I could probably spend another hour or so on his coat. Yeah, hour and a half. And we could chat for a little half hour maybe or something. And then I'm going to take a nap. This is hard work. I could bring this hairline in just a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. Soften that edge just a little bit. Yeah, those are offset just a tiny bit. Maybe this actually comes down. Just a hair. Just making sure those canthal tendons are symmetrical on both sides. And that hook, I keep needing to fix that. It's not so pronounced. It's a little bit, but it's a little softer. There we go. Oh, okay. Let's see, what do I got here? Anything for... I guess I'll start using some of these flesh tone brushes now. I don't need those. I can start using those for some other colors, like sort of a light purple. For some highlights in his hair. Maybe a little more color. Yeah, they're not nowhere near that light. That's okay. Now it mixed in and it turns into another color. Here's where a lot of paint is going to continue to help this piece. Couple bits of hair going here and there. And I'll get more green on that side in a second. A little bit of orange or something, maybe. Yeah, some tufts that come up like that. A little darker. Yeah, because his beard actually wraps around the side of his face, I'll bet. Gets probably darker toward the bottom. A little. Yeah, a little tangly, a little flowy, kind of a little mixture of both. A little bit off the corner of the mouth there. Kind of a little more orange, orangish blue. Let's make that a little thicker. Oh yeah, nice thick paint on that beard. And this great. See, this is the hair is just fun. You can do all this fun, squiggly, brushy stuff. Whew. Looks great. My wife and I went to a couple of Leaky Cons. I think you do very well. Cool. Yeah, Hagrid's face is fun. It could be, you know, very benevolent or, yeah, joyous or sneaky or who knows what. Yeah, I would like to at least go to a Leaky Con to see what it's like. I heard rumor of, not rumor, but I saw a story a while ago about a terrible, bogus Harry Potter con that went down. That was just like a total ripoff, and they were like giving away chopsticks as magic wands, and it was like basically like in a kitchen of some building, and they had like, you know, crummy brownies like on trays, and that was supposed to be like, you know, just a bunch of like sort of stuff like that, and really cheesy cosplayers and not at all what you'd expect for the amount of money they paid to get into that place anyway. I'd be upset if I had paid money to go to that thing. So I think we'd want to go to one and just see what it's like and talk to some other vendors even too, you know, see how they do. And it's a new kind of con that we'd have to like get involved in and figure it out. I should text. I have a couple friends that love my Harry Potter stuff. Okay, if these gals come on, get ready for some really strange banter. Yeah, let's do some green on this side. Let's do some green sort of highlights maybe even. Oh, hi there, Stacy. Thanks. Thanks for watching. We have prints of all these pieces available if you'd like. You can get them on pre-sale before I'm even finished with the painting. And they're all 40% off. Nick, if you're listening, if you want to post that link, there should be a link in your description, I hope. But if not, Nick is going to post that right now. If he's listening. So I test to make sure he's actually watching. There it is. He's on it. Just make sure you're not like playing League of Legends or something. Did I do self-portraits? Not recently. I guess I did a piece that has me in it. It wasn't a self-portrait. It was on my website. There's a piece called Tidal Wave. I was the model for it because that's what I wanted to do. It worked out well. But it wasn't like my own face or anything. I guess I could do one. I thought about it. I was in Italy a couple of years ago, and I was in Scotland and Ireland and stuff, and I took some pictures specifically like, oh, this would be cool for a self-portrait, and I never got around to doing it. So I kind of was thinking like, who would want to buy a portrait of me? So I never really did it, and I'm like, I just really didn't think about it. Apparently there's a market though. Okay, there's Hagrid and his hair. We'll do a couple like nice lighter bits. Lighter than that. Yeah, just a couple little highlights there. Yeah, for as old as Hagrid is, he doesn't have a lot of gray hair. He doesn't have any gray hair. Surprising. Let's see if I can soften some of these that are a little too separated. Basically just lighten up some of these center sections. Yeah, looks great. Okay, now let's move on to his suit. I'll lift this up a little bit so I can get in there. Let me adjust this. Sorry about that. Point that down a little more. And make sure it's nice and straight. That's close enough. Maybe I could tighten that a little bit so it stays put. Okay. Whew. Secret compass. Awesome. Yeah, thanks very much. Okay, I think I might jump on Instagram and try to do a live stream on there as well. Live. Give me 1 second as I set up the camera here. Wrong way. Sorry about that, guys. This is always a real pain in the ass. I have all these cameras everywhere, and it's really hard to do what I'm doing. Don't mind me one bit. Okay. And I'm live. Okay. Hi guys, Christopher Clark here, doing a fun Hagrid painting. About to work on his suit here. Again, I think I want to keep this purple over here. And green on the left. So here's a wrinkle. There's a wrinkle on his coat. We'll see how far over there I need to go with the detail. I think I might leave that and keep the detail focused here. This is mostly, we'll just color it in dark. What's my Instagram? It is Christopher Clark Art. There you go. And thanks for following. And yeah, follow us on this video stream also if you want to see more more fun live streams. There's a cast shadow on his arm. This is all pretty dark down here too. Just scratch some of that in. A little bit there. Okay, here's going to be his collar. And it hits some shadow of his beard. Instagram people, I'm not up here watching the thing because the camera's above me, so thanks for watching and commenting. I can't see your comments though because I'm down here. All right, there's a little green right here. I just need more of all this paint and some more medium. Scoop that up there. So it's darker there and a little lighter at the bottom, and then here's this soft plane change as it turns into the fold of that collar. Gets tighter up here and darker, I'm sorry, more feathery down here. I might actually leave the bottom a little less detailed. Just because that's fun. And this is not as dark as the upper areas, so let's keep that value not as dark. Here this gets a little, actually we'll do this. There's a few big plane changes on this collar. There's that collar there. And we see a little bit of his shoulder. Yeah, I really wanted Hagrid to just like fill the frame of the painting. That was kind of my goal with this one. Thought that would be fun. Lighter plane here, little A little lighter, maybe a little more purple. That's too much purple because freaking Egyptian violet is so strong. God. Maybe a little more orange now up here. Maybe it gets more purple as it wraps around down here. Definitely needs to be more green here. Yeah, this is some fun interpretive colors. Let's get a little lighter here again. I definitely want to show the light of that side a little more. Here's a wrinkle. It's pushing that up a little bit. Let's get some more paint on there. We see a bit of dark here because I think that's where his other arm is coming out. I can do this to bring in the composition a little bit. Now let's do a third brush with a nice lighter Okay. There's a wrinkle. There's a fold right there. Ah, wow, that was way, way too much purple. God. I just meant to just kiss the side of that pile and I grabbed a whole mass of it. Son of a... It's better. A little more orange. I just want to show a couple of those. And then here's where we see his actual top of his shoulder there. And his hair fills it all in. You see underneath this crease, inside this crease. Yeah, I want to leave a lot of this unfinished looking at the bottom here. Of course, I keep painting it, and it keeps getting more and more finished looking, so I don't know. I'm going to sort of scrub that in, maybe. I like this green that shows through. It's kind of fun. Let's get a couple of these. I can show like a stitching through here. A big fat stitching on this seam along the edge here that then wraps around. And maybe we see a little bit of kind of an edge on the edge of this stitching here. And then this part could be a little more defined there. Maybe the edge here. Not super sharp, but it's this there. A little bit of reflected light there. Smaller crease there. Need a little more core shadow on that part. Cast shadow from his collar, but his coat is pretty green, dark down here. Ooh, and we get to see some buttons. Here's one. Maybe another one down there. Now here's a little bit of a red, some kind of a kerchief or something that he's got. This will add some red to correspond, to complement his face then. Or maybe this is his shirt underneath. Yeah, that'll be a nice complementary sort of thing. A little bit of a button there. Yeah, nice little tiny red accent to go with his jolly face up there. Let's do a little shadow around. It's actually a little more ellipsed. Little inner plane. Gotta go. Cool. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks for watching. Yeah, please follow us and hope to see you back again soon. Thanks for chatting. There's the old Patreon link. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, please definitely check us out on Patreon. We have all kinds of cool perks exclusively for our Patreon members, which include being able to watch all these streams whenever you want, indefinitely. You have actually, some of the levels have access to my painting videos, like my painting instructional videos if you ever wanted to study with me. I've got those available on Patreon. A lot of cool stuff, just for members only. See, this whole thing is pretty solid with just a couple darker accents here, which I can do. I don't know, Nick, I'm wrapping this one up pretty quick. I gotta do a little bit of the background here. I knew this one would go fast because Hagrid just doesn't have much of a face to paint. Because it's just so much hair more than anything else. I know John's still sending out emails for people to come watch. I'm like, well, I guess you can watch the feed later because I'm almost done. Collar, soften this edge a bit. Yay! Hi, Jane. We have been waiting for you. What do you think of Hagrid? He's fun, right? He's jolly. Are you homeschooly things right now, or what are you doing? That's my niece, everybody. She's pretty awesome. She's an artist as well, and a musician. So, she definitely runs in the family. He's got a great jacket. What is this supposed to be? Moleskin? School starts on the 5th. It's going to be online until further notice. Wow, that's weird. That's got to be rough. Good luck with that. Hope that goes well. And maybe it's great for you. You just get to chill at home. But, you know, is it hard to be at home working with all the stuff going on everywhere? And, you know, you don't get to see any, like, people. You just go stir crazy. Cabin fever, sitting home for months at a time. Or do you guys like have study groups with like other friends or something, or online summer school? Oh, okay, cool. I mean, I know sometimes school social life can be a little rough anyway, but still, it is nice to have that choice to like have your cool friends to hang out with. Um, uh, rather than like, no, you're stuck at home, you can't see anyone. He does have a cool jacket. This thing always looks so hot, though. He wears this big pile of clothes all the time. Like, Jesus, Hagrid, take a layer off or something. Oh, my neck. Ooh. First couple of days are going to be rough because of everyone trying to adjust. Sure. Is Riker home too then? So you guys have to deal with each other at home all day, actually trying to get some work done. That's going to be fun. And Corinne too then, right? All you guys stuck at home together. I mean, it's just like summer vacation, only you have to actually work. Or you're supposed to be, you know, whatever. You get to hide out in your room. That's cool. You can hide out in your room and you can watch me paint. I do this a lot. We'll just darken this in a little bit. So it's unfinished, but it's still not glaring. Swimsuit season for Hagrid. Oh, yeah. He'd be out and everyone's like, Hagrid, why don't you take off that sweater? That's a pretty funny thought, actually. There's a big old giant button. I gotta include that one. That's fun. There's a nice wrinkle. So does this mean you don't get to play in band anymore? You know, I know you were picking up the viola. I'm assuming that that's on hold now, or what? That sucks. There's a way to get rusty, is to not play for a year or whatever. Here's a nice cast shadow for that color. I'll make sure I show that. I'll fill in a couple of these little details here. Little crevices in the canvas that or the panel that I don't necessarily want showing. I build my own wood panels. Just correcting a couple things there. Class will be happening, instruments and all, online. Wow. How would that work with the delay? And because multiple people can't talk at the same time. It usually, I mean, when I do Google Meet or Zoom or whatever with anybody, it always like only one person can talk at a time. So you know, you could like do a solo and they could all critique you or something. But I don't know how that's going to happen with an ensemble. Wow. Interesting. That is a fun coat. Don't really know. Yeah. Let me know how that goes. When I was a kid learning how to play guitar, I used to talk on the phone with my buddy, and he and I would jam on the phone. And that was tough. This is, of course, before the internets, so this was, you know, in the Dark Ages, in like the, you know, 1700s or whatever. But I imagine it would maybe be easier on the internets. Okay, let's move this down. I'm gonna just fill in some color behind his head. My phone is doing Instagram, so I can't take a picture. Oh well, that's okay. Yo, Paulie, I don't know if you're still watching, but how's it going, man? Good to see you. Trying to teach yourself the keyboard piano. Oh, nice. Um, that's cool. Yeah, keyboards. I wish I had learned piano as well as guitar. It's a really great instrument. I mean, your dad teaches. You could have him teach you. He is a professional, or it was at one point, professional music instructor. Um, Let me adjust. I gotta adjust everything. Let's see if I can do both at the same time. That's pretty good. Oh, you're great. Your dad's old keyboard, nice. Um, yeah, keyboards are awesome, especially if it's, I don't know if it's got any kind of a MIDI interface. You could plug it into a computer and you can compose music. You were doing some composition online previously, so I imagine it probably does then. Yeah, what color to do behind Hagrid? Something designy. You made a new piece. Oh, nice. I'll have to check it out. Um, Retext me the link for your music site. I'll check that out. Text me or Facebook me or whatever. Unless you're gonna post it here so people can see different ones. Okay, well, yeah, send me the link for that. I'd like to check it out. This is a weird crossing road. Like, what do I do at the back? I don't like to call it the background because it's very important. It'll change the whole painting. Found a better program. Oh, good. I'm still so bummed I didn't get a chance to come see you guys. Just before, literally the weekend we had planned on doing a show in Phoenix was like the first weekend they like put everything on lockdown. And I was gonna stay for like an extra like 5 days and hang out with all you guys. I'm so bummed that didn't happen. What's Hagrid looking at? I guess, you know, if you're gonna, if people like the painting and buy it, like they can just like imagine whatever story they want. You know, could be doing something mischievous. He's happy. Actually, the the reality of this particular moment with Hagrid is he's looking at Dumbledore. This moment happens at the end of Chamber of Secrets. And when he comes back from Azkaban and he's in the Great Hall, and you know he's thanking Harry and Ron and Hermione, and he looks up at Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's clapping, and that's like he looks up at him. That's this exact moment. It was just a really great picture of Hagrid. A really great facial expression he was making. It's actually really hard to find a good expression on him that's like paintable. in passing as he's moving and talking and stuff, he looks great. But freeze frame to try to find a great image of Hagrid, it's really hard actually. I could not find a lot of really great images that I loved and wanted to paint. This was one of the few. Just bring that in a little bit more. God, what should I do with that? Kind of like leaving it a little obscure, but what I can do, let's try this. I could reverse my color palette here. I could do green on this side and purple on the other side. Oh, cool, Jane. I got your text. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do a little sort of a light earthy green on this side. That's way too light. Just to reverse. Yeah, a little darker. That could be kind of fun. Maybe I could even use a different tool here. I can come in here and hit that edge a little bit and mess it up. And then I want to make sure we see his shoulder. I can push his hairline down a little bit. Now this side's going to have a little bit of purple. Running out of medium. Need to get a little more. Whoa, that was way more than I wanted. That's okay, I can save it for later. Where's the color I was just mixing? Right there. Let's go a little more purple even. Just for funsies. And a little lighter. I'll do a little lighter even. I can, real transparent. I can mess up his hair a little more. Stupid wobbly easel. Yeah, make sure that's nice and messy edge. And I can soften that too a little bit. That's nice. Let's make that a little lighter. Okay, we're reaching about the end here, folks. Let me hit his shoulder just a little harder, just so I can see that. Couple more highlights on his hair. Yeah, I think we're about done with this one. That looks great. Good old Hagrid. It's not Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. Can't believe they've got this oaf teaching classes. Wait till my father hears about this. God, this place has gone to the dogs. That's my really terrible Malfoy impersonation. And soften a little bit of this as it goes up into the beard. Ooh. Warm background. I actually would like to keep the background maybe cooler so that his warm face stands out more. I think a warm background would blend in a little too much than what I might want. So if I have the contrast of warm face, cool background, that will bring him forward, you know. That's also why the darkest values are around his face, and it gets lighter everywhere else. So it brings his face more forward in that composition, you know. Yeah, this is a super great piece. I like this. I'm very happy with it. Okay, we'll call this one done. Well, let me get a. I might end Instagram then, since I'm just sort of chilling here. I was going to use my Teleo phone to take a picture. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. So, Christopher Clark here. So catch you guys later. Follow me and check out my stuff. Gotta take this off, unfortunately. I'll do a little nice view of the front. Here we go. It's Hagrid. And there's all the paints. Oil paint is so lovely. He is such a jolly guy. So, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. End video. Okay. The rest of you, I'm still here for a few minutes. I was ending my Instagram. So you guys can still, I'm going to clean up and we can ask some questions. But yeah, so feel free to ask some questions if you all would like while I'm cleaning up. I'm posting this on Instagram real quick, so forgive me here. So yeah, question Q&A time. Go ahead. Anything you'd like to ask. Okay, that's posted, and I want to get I like to get a picture of the painting on the easel with the paint. People seem to like that a lot. Let's see, I can straighten this out a little bit. I can give you guys a little fun close-up tour with the camera too if you want. It's a little better. Okay, that's taking a while to post. We'll just let that sort of run there for a second. What's the next series after I finish Harry Potter? I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of fleshing out the series with lots of characters. I know at the gallery they're like, paint more other titles. I kind of like having like lots of characters for the whole series, rather than just a couple here and then a couple for another title and a couple, you know, smattering of them. So I'd like to do a few more Harry Potter pieces. I'd like to do a Sirius Black, and I got to do Ron Weasley. I should probably do like, you know, Ginny, and who else? Someone said I really should do a Richard Harris Dumbledore, which would be really cool. So many great Harry Potter characters. I feel like I'd like to flesh the series out a little more before I start working on another series, but we've been talking about having me do more DC pieces because I've only done a few. I'd love to do a Lord of the Rings portrait series like this, with you know, so many great characters from that series that I could do. I think Lord of the Rings would be another big one for sure. And I guess if people start requesting specific ones, then that's, you know, that always helps when we get a lot of requests for the same thing. That's motivating for me to want to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do what you guys want. Some more anime. Yeah, I've heard about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I haven't revisited anime in a while, but I suppose I could. There's another one where it's like, do I do... This portrait series is actually really nice. I can just do a character without trying to composite this whole crazy scene or something. So maybe I should do that. I should explore that for anime too. That could be cool. Just going to set those in some water. Did this finish posting yet? Yes. All right, let me get a picture of this. You'd love to see Foe. What is that from? I admit I don't know that one. Or that character. All right, I gotta block out the light behind me here. Just taking a quick picture of my finished piece. I suppose I could sign this one. It's dry enough in places. Let's sign it over here. Just adjust this. Hi there, David. Thanks for watching. We've got prints of this one available, actually, also. They're 40% off right now. So if you ever wanted a print of Hagrid, now's your chance. Basically, before I'm even finished with the painting, we have prints available for sale. And then once I get a high-res image of it, you know, we'll upload those. Let's see, I think I want this signature a little more blue. Not so red. Just so it doesn't compete too much with everything. Or do I want it dark? Maybe I want it dark, actually. Yeah, this color should be good down here. Okay, signature. Dumbledore's Phoenix, right? I've got such a long name. My big old head, you can't even see anything, sorry. I might get right in the way, but I have to be here to sign this. Christopher Clark. Apparently, if I would have been born a girl, I would have been Aubrey. So, Christopher works pretty well, though. Okay. Now I can take some pictures of it. Pronounced like fox. Sorry, just trying to get a nice picture of this before I clean up. Okay, time to clean up this paint a little bit. Yeah, there's always an endless list of characters that I should paint. But of course, you know, I do paint other things, not just pop culture, so it's hard to necessarily find time to do all that stuff. I do commissions occasionally. Oops, I moved Hagrid up. Yeah, I moved the panel up to get it out of my way so I can clean up my brushes. There we go. Hi there, Christine. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. You caught me just as I'm finishing up here. We do have prints available, though. Nick, if you're listening, you can post the print link there if you want to buy. You can pre-order prints of this piece. I just finished it. I'm gonna take a high-res in the next few days. Take a high-res photo of it so we can get it to our printer. But you can order prints of this one and Harry Potter, which I did yesterday, and Luna Lovegood, which I'm going to do tomorrow. You can get the whole set now as I'm painting them, as well as any of the other many Harry Potter and other cool pop culture nerd art pieces that I've done. And everything's 40% off today. 40% off. Prints and originals on our website. Is it satisfying to scrape the paint off? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just me cleaning up. Um, there's our link. So please check that out if you want to buy a print of this piece or any of the other awesome pieces we have. Maybe, Jane, you specifically like the act of scraping away the paint. I remember when I was showing you how to paint when I lived at your guys' place. I was showing you how to use the palette knife and scrape out, and you almost bent the thing. You were pushing so hard on the glass palette, you almost bent my knife in half. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So maybe you find it especially satisfying to scrape it clean or something, which, maybe that can be cathartic in some kind of weird way. They say art is therapeutic. It certainly can be. Maybe even cleaning up after yourself when you're doing art is therapeutic. That's for you to say. I'd say go for it. I'm kind of getting a little over having the perfectly clean palette. As I paint more and more often, I realize I'm spending a lot of time just cleaning and stuff. I'm like, I just leave my paint there. I don't even put it away anymore. I'm just like, it'll be there tomorrow or the next day. It's not going anywhere. I'll do a little bit of cleanup here. I can't leave a totally pile of wet paint in the middle because I still have to come back and mix paint later. But I'm putting my paint away less and less often because it's just a pain in the ass, and it's another 10 to 15 minutes a day that I'm just sitting here doing this and not working on something cool. Hagrid is the definition of caretaker, right? And one of Harry's many father figures that he collects throughout the series, which is kind of cool. So that might be about as clean as it's going to get right now. Ugh. Use some brushes here. Yes, so tomorrow is Luna Lovegood. So same time, 1 p.m. MST, Mountain Standard Time. So 1 p.m. If that would be 3 p.m. East Coast and noon West Coast. Europe, forget it. I'm not doing the math. I think Britain's 7 hours ahead. So that'd be 8 p.m. if you're in Britain. And that'll be a fun piece. She'll be reading the Quibbler, which of course will be upside down because she's deciphering the ancient runes that you need to read upside down, which is kind of funny. Okay, just clean. Some of these just got piled full of paint. I'm also cleaning my brushes less and less often because it's such a pain in the ass. I'm learning how to deal with and paint with not crisp brushes, I guess. I buy them and they're perfectly crisp, and then after several months of just using and abusing them, they sort of get a little fuzzy. And I'm learning how to deal with that to still use them and make nice, precise, great paintings. Like here's a brand new brush. Super crisp edge, never been used, never been dipped in paint. Nice crisp flat edge. Sharp chisel point. And here's one that's a year and a half, 2 years old. You can see how the paint just gets inside and dries and pushes those bristles apart. So it's it's still got a nice square front, you know, but the chiseled edge is gone. So I'm learning how to still just deal with that. I save my sharp ones for something very specific, but otherwise I'm like, I can make it work. You learn how to put up with more and more improvising as you just feel like cleaning and doing admin work less and less. So, okay. Well, thanks guys for watching. I'm Christopher Clark. Oops, I just dipped my thing in my CAD yellow. I'm Christopher Clark. Thanks for watching. Painting today for the Amazing Art Expo. You can follow us. My face cam is... Oh, no, it's actually live. Oh, good. Okay. Follow the video stream here if you want to see more videos. I'll be doing Luna Lovegood tomorrow. And then I do all kinds of live streaming like once or twice a week. So if you like watching a painter work, doing cool stuff, then definitely follow us. You can follow me on the internets in general. I'll put that's my Facebook and Instagram, and my hashtag in general on the internet. Christina says, thank you for sharing, always sharing your magic. Oh, awesome. Well, I appreciate that you consider it such, and thanks for watching. And then order a print, 40% off this weekend, almost half off. That's amazing. So definitely check those out. We have really, really cool stuff from Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, DC, Alice in Wonderland, Game of Thrones, all the cool nerd art that you love. So check that out. And check out our Patreon if you want to, get some cool members only perks, which include access to all of my online painting videos. My painting instructional videos where I actually teach you how to paint. So if you want to study with me as an artist, there you go. And then you can have access to all these videos that I do, so you can watch them over and over again whenever you want. We have dozens of them up there. And other cool perks like that, like permanent discounts on our prints and stuff on the website and things like that. So check out our Patreon. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So take care. Thanks for watching. See y'all later. Have a fun